My name is Serena. My pronouns are she, her, and I am running for the position of VP University and Academic Affairs. So I want to run for this position because I've done a lot of work at SFU out of necessity, being a disabled student and realizing how ableist academia is. And in my conversations with other SFU students, I realized that many intersections face this kind of discrimination from academia, whether it be racism, ableism, transphobia, etc. So I really want to expand my work and include and represent all SFU undergraduate students in this position of VP University and Academic Affairs. So a change that I'd like to work towards due to the pandemic is creating more accessible bursaries. I know in my experience, a lot of the bursaries have either GPA requirements that aren't realistic, or they may ask you to recite some sort of trauma to prove your resilience. So I think, especially during the pandemic when a lot of students have lost employment or are in more dire financial straits, it's really important to have accessible bursaries for students to relieve some of that financial pressure. Also, I would work with the VP Finance to get this done in a similar way that the COVID relief was given out to students in past semesters and this semester, and I believe the summer semester as well. Okay, so in a similar way to address budget increase from student clubs, I would also work with the VP Finance and VP External and Community Affairs to build off the work that was done by the current board, because they have increased the funding for clubs to build off of that so that clubs can, to continue their work and not have to really tightly budget things along the way as well. I think it's really important to support clubs, DSUs, and constituency groups, especially as a nonprofit. SFU and the SFSS have the money, so we just need to put it into policy. So I support a tuition freeze. Honestly, I think it's abhorrent that SFU increased tuition during a pandemic. Is one of the only institutions I know in BC to do so. So I think we need to start with a tuition freeze and while fighting for our tuition freeze, continue to fight for post-secondary education as a human right. I think that SFU, to make any change, they're not really leaders, they're more followers. So we really have to build up the pressure, really work on organizing different DSUs, constituency groups, to act together in a way that tuition strikes happened in Quebec. So if we have a uniform movement with everyone along the way that's building consistent pressure on SFU, I think they will respond accordingly. I think that a lot of SFU's equity, diversity, and inclusion policies are performative. I think they might have them, but I've never seen them in action. I've heard from Black, Indigenous, and disabled students that their experience on the SFU EDI Council was less than ideal, or that Black students didn't really have a say at the table. I think another thing with EDI is that it's easy to kind of say these things and use it as a mantra to give off the impression that you're doing more than you actually are. But it's another thing to actually fight for equity, diversity, and inclusion, and truly understand what those are and include meaningful consultation in your work. And I don't think SFU's doing that in its current iteration of EDI. One thing that I would really encourage is that students be more engaged in the, not only the election, but in the student society as a whole. I know a lot of us have problems or issues with SFU or the SFSS, and it's really essential that you vote from February 16th to 18th on SFU Mail, and that you're just engaged in the student society overall, because it really does affect us in our day-to-day lives more than you think. Once I did some more research a couple of years ago and realized how important it was, that's why I got involved in council. So I think it's just really important to be engaged, and I want to encourage students not only to be engaged, but run for things like SFU Senate or the Board of Governors, things like that as well. So my name is Serena, and I'm running to be your next VP University and Academic Affairs with the SFU Progressives. From February 16th to 18th, be sure to vote through SFU Mail for SFU Progressives and to build student power stronger.